Hey there, it's Lauren. So this video is serving as the introduction to this new creative endeavor that just came to me this week. Um, and also as the lesson, the blog, the video diary for the One of Wind. So yesterday and a few days before, in my study, I'm always trying to strengthen my connection to source and my clarity as a channel, and also to broaden my knowledge and my wisdom of spiritual practices and studies and theologies, and the wisdom of so many gifted teachers who have brought forth this brilliant information and interpretation, and ways of helping us to spark our own imagination, to gain insight as to what it is that we truly came here to do and who we came here to be. And so my studies are broad ranging. I snatched a few books off of the shelf in preparation for this. I have in the past and will again study the I Ching, which is a Chinese method of divination that is sort of like drawing cards. So you draw a combination that indicates a certain message, and then you use that message to activate your own imagination and create your own interpretation of what exactly this means to you. Because again, it's so important to remember that spirituality is between you and you. And the ways that you gather information, the ways that you receive that information and interpret it, these are all very, very individual, based on the absolutely unique human being that you are, the divine, immortal, living this spirit, this human existence. I also studied in my meditation training the Bhagavad Gita. This is Ram Dass's book, Paths to God, which is, more studies on the Bhagavad Gita. And, of course, there's the I'm, well versed in, Christianity and the language of the Bible, and the Tarot Illuminati. There's so many different things that I'm studying, but right now my focus is on Kabbalah and Tarot of the Spirit, using primarily the work of Pamela Eakins, and as was recommended to me by one of my spiritual teachers, Eden. And I'm also in search of other books, other sources of information and knowledge and guidance about this study. And what is really beautiful about this, in our channeled readings, we use oracle cards, which are messages. My favorite is the Sacred Traveler, which is a Denise Lynn deck. My second favorite is the Native Spirit, which is also Denise Lynn, and Oracle of the Fairies, which is so bright and so beautiful and so fun. These and there are other decks that I have tried and played around with and found that they didn't really resonate with me, and so I let those go. And this is your gift and your power as well, the power of discernment, the power of understanding what exactly resonates with you and keeping the things that serve you and letting the rest go. This is an incredibly diverse universe, and there's no reason to banish something that doesn't resonate with you, because it might be absolutely perfect for someone else. So just appreciating all the variety of everything that exists in this human existence. So having said all of that, this week I drew the One of Wind card from the Tarot of the Spirit deck. I'll show you a few more images. That's the outside of the deck. And then this is another depiction of this. So twice this week I drew the One of Wind, which is the Dawn card. And the whole idea around this, so let me just do this. Let me just read this. The divinatory meaning of this card, which is the short version, and I might wind up reading all of the information. We'll just see how this goes. So the dark clouds of your mind are scattered as if blown away by a strong wind at daybreak, An important new idea is taking hold in your mind. It is as if a light is turning on in your life. Pay attention to new thought. This is an exciting time. As you think about your new idea, you will not be able to follow every nuance to its logical completion point in the future, but there will be time for that later. Attend to the present and accept the great potential of your new ideas. So I drew this card twice, and yet I couldn't really arrive at any really new ideas that I have. I have so many ideas, but most of them are not new. They're things that have been in progress. And so I was, searching my heart and meditating and trying to figure this out. And then I spoke with another of my spiritual teachers, Rachel, and she suggested one that I spend a day or two in silence, completely cut off from electronics, from communication with other people, and give myself the time and space and create a void in which these creative ideas can arrive. And I do intend to do that. But her second suggestion was to go for a walk in nature. And this is something that I used to do a lot, but that isn't really in my life anymore. And so this morning, I drove out to my favorite place that's easy. It's not hiking, it's not climbing, it's not strenuous. It's just walking and being in the beauty of nature. And this is beautiful. I'm going to share a video that I took on our walk this morning with my old dog, so it's easy for her, it's easy for me. And I was just able to be in this place. And so what arose from this is that I have wanted and been very curious for a long time about keeping a video diary. I have copious journals that I'm always journaling and keeping notes in and, using this to connect with myself. But I've seen video diaries and I thought they were so interesting. I thought that would be such a really cool thing to do. And I have also wanted to revive my blog. The very first thing that I ever did as an online creator was when I took myself off on sabbatical to Guatemala and started traveling. I created a blog because I wanted to share with my family, who tend to be geographically very limited, all of the beautiful things in the world and hopefully awaken in them a curiosity to see more of the world. So all throughout, the last 20 years, I have had a blog on and off, and I've also had a podcast on and off throughout the 10 years since I started Be Happy First. And so the idea came to me as I was walking to combine all of these things, to share my spiritual studies in a video diary that can then be used as information that I share with you, the people that are in this world with me, that are on this journey with me. And so that's how we came to be at this point. So in this video, I want to talk more about the One of Wind, and then we'll wrap up that one. And then I want to share today's card that I drew, which is my favorite. And I'm doing two of these today because I wanted to jump on this inspiration as it arrived, and because today's card is my favorite. So I wanted today's video log, diary, presentation, spiritual study, whatever it winds up being called, to be about this card, which is also very much a beginning card. And the other thing is that I will need to get my mind around is that this is a study that I do first thing in the morning. So I've got to let go of the idea that I need to have makeup on and have hair done and have, real clothes on in order to create in this way. So I'm really pleased and honored that you are on this journey with me, and I would love to hear your input, your feedback, your suggestions as to what parts of this work for you, what parts of this serve you, what parts of this you could do without. And so hopefully this will become, a beautiful part of my journey that I'm also sharing with you, that becomes a part of your journey. So, all right, so the One of Wind, all of the information in this card, and I'm not going to actually read this one because I have already read it, but the One of Wind in a regular tarot deck would be the same as the One of Swords. and the direction that it indicates is east. And the whole beauty around the idea of wind and breath is that when you take your first breath in this life, this is the beginning of your human journey. And when you take your last breath, that's the end. And then there are so many beautiful experiences of breathing, of warm breezes, of raging storms and hurricanes and winds. And so the whole idea of the wind in connection with the intellect. So this is why the idea of creative thought is so present here. And so the one of wind represents the essence of wind. So that wind is born on the inner course of the elemental forces of fire, which is spirit and energy, and water, which is desire. So this means that your desire for change and your energy level to enable that change to occur have reached a new level. Both aspects of yourself have grown stronger and deeper. A change is in the offing. You are beginning to see things in a new way. You are gaining a new perspective. You may feel as if you are seeing the light. At this time, you are channeling and directing your own energy and becoming highly cognizant of your own boundaries. So it goes on to talk about how dawn represents the first level of apprehension, the beginning of a new day, the dawn of a new beginning, right? And the dawn of time, so dawn represents the beginning in so many ways. And the one represents the original. So the one is meant to be purely original thinking and original thought and perfectly creative ideas. And so I don't know if this venture is truly original in the world, but it is original to me. It is something that I've never done before, and combining things in a way that I have never done before. So the one of wind also represents breath. It's the wind moving in and out of our body. It symbolizes the moment of birth. We've talked about all of that. It's the cutting edge and the point where all ideas and potential are released into the world. So I really like the symbolism of the sword. So whenever I am taken into ceremonial visualizing guided meditations, most especially by Eden, when we are instructed to let source suggest a magical tool for us to use, I always envision a short sword. It's so beautiful. It's strapped to my side. And I love the symbolism of this in that a sword can be used to harm, but it can also be used to prepare the ground for planting. And the sword can cut through falsehoods to reveal truths. So there's so much symbolism included in this around swords and air and breath and wind, that it's a beautiful card. It's a beautiful message, and it's feeling really, really good to share with you and express this in this way. So I want to give you one more look at the actual card. This particular deck has a whole lot of abstract symbolism, and so some days I may describe or read to you the symbology that is indicated, but it's feeling like we are complete in the message of the one of wind. So I hope that you loved this. Wherever you're watching this, probably in the Magic Garden community, there's a place to make comments and start conversations. So I welcome those. I welcome any insight and wisdom that you have to share that expands on this. We are all students and we are all teachers, and we're all on this beautiful journey together. I love you. Namaste.